have to say, you guys are helping me because I actually blow dried my hair, I put on jeans, and it's a very humbling moment when we've been wearing elastic wear and changing our morning pajamas to our afternoon pajamas. So I thank you for giving me purpose and for making me feel creative and making me feel connected to you guys, because I don't even know what day we're on already, but the quarantine, as they say here in Israel, the bidud is not easy for me. So I really look forward to this, and I love getting your comments. I love hearing how many people made chili last week, and I love those who remember the recipe from way back in the old country, in old Canada. Good morning, Canada, waking up right now. I'm so grateful I'm on your daily schedule. So today, I'm going to go back to my roots a little bit. And again, the purpose of these classes, the recipes are simple. They're nothing complicated. They're nothing that requires a lot of technique, but I've been told the helpful hints and being able to be resourceful and using what we have in our pantries is, I think, the most important thing right now. I know I'm trying to minimize my waste, hence my apron that I'm wearing. Leket is an organization of choice that is rescuing food here in Israel day by day, and I'm so proud to be wearing this apron and being involved in such a great organization. But I too, in my own house, feel a responsibility of being mindful of waste and recycling and what we can do and what we can reuse, repurpose, and make better. So we're on the countdown to Pesach. I know not everybody wants to hear that, but we have a calendar in front of us. And when I do look at it, I'm not really sure what day it is today, but I do know that Pesach is the next upcoming big holiday. And seeing from the memes and the funny jokes that are going around through my WhatsApp, I know those are going to start pretty rapidly. So I want you to dig out of your pantries, okay? I want you to pull out that big C word, the chametz, out of there, and let's use it up. So today's recipes that I thought about were guided by those principles, guided by those needs to just get rid of stuff. So I went back to panache for all those who are online, and I know so many of you are, who were incredible volunteers, over 100 volunteers that came together in Montreal to make this happen. And really, you can see, I use this cookbook so much, thanks to all you women who made it happen. So the recipes are in this book, but they are also located online thanks to Jordan, who's the brainchild of this whole platform. Hey, Jordan out there, shout out to you for thinking so wide, thinking so personally, and making us all come together to bring our best selves out there and to share and to keep ourselves fiercely alive. So this is all Jordan Palavai's, who is a resident of Renana and the best photographer in the whole world. And so when you guys are all planning your Israel trips back here again, you know that Jordan is your guy for those photos. Anyway, the recipes that we're going to be doing today are from Panache, but they are online thanks to Jordan. We're going to be making a Moroccan Tagine with chickpeas. We're doing a vegetarian version of it, but I'm going to show you, if you have some chicken in your house, you can definitely add the chicken as well. And then we're going to be making my specialty cookies that I make all the time with my eyes closed, and I hope it will become one of your regulars, and it's a Biscotti recipe. And Biscotti means B-I in front of it is twice baked. So we're going to be baking them twice, making them in logs and then slicing them and rolling them over. But really it's an opportunity to get rid of a lot of your cereal that you have in your pantry. So cereal here is like gold. So people don't usually have leftover cereal here because it's like 30 shekels a box. But I know in North America, you know, we always had like 8 cereals going at a time. And so those are a lot of carbs to get rid of fast. So this will be another way to get rid of them. So we're going to start with what's going to take the longest because I don't, what's that? Is there a question out there?
Hi.
Hi, there's Batya, the yoga teacher.
Oh boy, I'm driving. I'm driving. I thought I was muted. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, no need.
Okay.
Anybody else out there? The class is live, okay? So your questions are usually your neighbor's questions, which are, we're all socially distanced apart, but I would love to hear them. Anyone?
I have a question.
Yeah, who's there?
It's Esty.
Hi, Esty.
Hi. Can we take a printout of your recipe, or do we have to write it down? I have my notes and can we get a printout?
The
I posted a
recipes-
link. I posted a link. This is Jordan. I posted a link and I'll post it again. And you should see it on your screen in a second. I'll just have to repost it. If you just joined the meeting, maybe you didn't get it. And I just posted it. You should be able to get it.
Okay.
And just so you know that the recipes are complete, nothing has been left out of them, so don't panic. And they're yours to keep, they're yours to circulate, they're yours to make your own. And you're gonna see, I didn't have all the ingredients and everything today, but that's life. And that's sort of the situation that we're living in today, is being adaptive and being open and being resilient. And you know, it's sort of a metaphor through our food. So you'll see how adaptive these recipes are and how forgiving they are as well. So the best recipes came from the steaks, remember that. So there's no failure today, and it's just really about connecting and having fun. So thank you, Esty, for your concern. I hope you have the recipe there, and Jordan is online for further questions about technological stuff. Who's there?
Shawna, I have a question. It's Rachel. I have a quick question. What if we don't have a gorgeous green tangine clay pot like you have?
Rachel, first of all, you have the most beautiful things in your home. So everything, I had to put this up because my son went to Morocco last year and he schlepped this in his backpack. And so I had to give it some credit. So there you go.
Wow.
Thank you, Zaki, for sending your kids on programs, and they actually think back and buy their mom something. So that's why it has front and center. No, you do not need a tagine. Truthfully, this is my first time using it. So, Shehach Chayanu to all of us, that we're all using it today.
Right.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna get cooking. And I just want to introduce my niece, Steffi, who is right next to me. Come over here, Steffi. Steffi just finished the army, and she's originally from Toronto. Where's my Canadian flag? She's here helping me as we're quarantined together. So, you know, very grateful. Steffi's the one who is doing all the camera stuff with Jordan. Okay, so we're gonna keep moving. The first thing we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be using couscous. And couscous, everybody, is just pasta, okay? There is nothing inherently healthy about couscous as much as we want to make us think that it is. It's not. So if you want to use something, and this just so you know that this recipe can be used for Passover if you do eat kidneyot. You know, I was making some jokes, you know, in Corona time. I don't know if it's worth even the debate, kidneyot, no kidneyot. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to do. But you can use this recipe over Passover. So for today I'm using up my couscous, and I don't really like the color of this couscous, so when I don't like the color of something, I color it. So I'm putting a little bit of turmeric on it, and turmeric is a poor man's saffron, just so you remember that. So in a recipe does call for saffron, you want to be and you don't have it, you can use a little bit of turmeric. I'm putting a little bit of olive.
Text the group.
Someone out there who has a question?
Not your group.
No? Okay, if someone's not on mute, if you can put yourself on mute because it's a little bit distracting unless you have a question, of course. Okay, so what I did was I mixed my turmeric inside with a little bit of my olive oil, which is extra virgin olive oil that comes from the Galil. And if anybody needs, I just did a drive-by pickup from Neely, who needed some Hilly, who needed some olive oil. So I stood outside, gave her a 5-gallon can, and she's on her way. She's baking up a storm. So I have my olive oil and my turmeric here, and I'm going to color it by putting some boiling water on top. No, you do not need any chicken stock. You don't need any vegetable stock. You just need a little bit of some water. Steffi, can you see the color of that that's coming out? And you can see that the turmeric is what's giving it this beautiful color. Okay, so what I'm just going to do, my brand new tea towel, which I found as I was cleaning out my linen closet, nothing like having a fresh tea towel. Put it right on top, and we're just gonna let that steam as we move along onto our other things. Couscous is so brain dead easy. It's instant. There's no fat in it except for the fact that I just added into the olive oil. Again, if you don't want to use, you want to use this over Passover, or in general, you want something a healthier choice, you can always use quinoa, and quinoa, always rinse it. Really important to get the bitterness off of it. And 1 cup to 2 cups of water. Bring it up to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, put a lid on it and lower the heat and let it cook for 12 minutes and let it sit. Turn off the heat and fluff it up with a fork. It's as easy as that. Okay, so we're gonna open up. If anybody has their panache books, I feel like we're doing reading hour. We're doing Moroccan Tagine with chickpeas on page 152. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be cooking it over here. And the ingredients that we're going to be using, I have some chopped up onion. Again, if you have a leek, use a leek. If you have red onion, use a red onion. We have some garlic and ginger. Remember, this is a bulb of garlic. And this
Shawna.
is, yeah?
It's Joanna. Hi. I
Hi,
have a question
Joanna.
for you.
Good morning.
How are you? Good morning. Shawna, in last week's class, you gave us a really excellent tip that we could chop our onions in advance. And I just can't remember, did you say that we can freeze them or that we keep them in our fridge?
You can do, as they say in Israel, gam the gam. You could do both. If you're going to be using them in the next couple of days, keep them in your fridge. But remember, they're going to make your fridge smell like onions. Or stick them in the freezer, and you'll love yourself when you pull them out because it's one less step, and they haven't lost any of their nutritional benefits either.
Amazing. Thanks.
Any other questions? So garlic, I'm always using fresh garlic. I'm not a big believer of buying anything in the bottles with all the stuff that is sitting in. Fresh garlic is fantastic, and again, a great way to release some stress. That's called bruising your garlic, and that's just a way to take off your skins, okay? If you don't like to do this, do it all at once and then have them for yourself and keep them in the fridge. But if you happen to have a garlic clove that does have a green sprout out of it, it's totally fine. You can continue to use it. It just means that it's changed temperatures, okay? So what you want to do if you're using it when it's raw, just take out that green part and continue on your way. You don't want to use your garlic if it feels like air, like it's like been completely dried out and there's nothing left to it. And of course, if it's green or anything like that. Oh my goodness, I just threw out an onion skin. What could I have done with that onion skin? Wasn't thinking straight. Joanna, you must know that answer because you were online before. What would I do with that onion skin? Is she there? Is there anybody out there? You can use that onion skin for your chicken soup, okay? It gives it a golden color. So what I'm doing is I'm chopping my garlic because I'm going to be cooking it for a longer period of time. You always want to be using chopped garlic and not minced garlic, the thing that you put through your garlic press, because what happens is that it burns incredibly quickly. Now, does anybody know what this is? Anybody? Anybody? This actually is ginger, fresh ginger. And this actually was given to me as a Mishloach Manot present from Tali and Chanoch, which I thought was the most beautiful thing because they mixed it with a lemon and some lemon tea, all about right in the height of the beginning of Corona to get us set up in our natural pharmacy in our house. Ginger is very medicinal. It has wonderful properties to it. And it's a great way to, if you ever have a sore throat, steep some ginger in some hot water and you'll already feel the heat going straight to your throat. It's fantastic. The issue is that a lot of people go to this and they go, oh my gosh, what do I do with it? How do I use it? And it's not the same as powdered ginger. You should know that. So fresh ginger is like, wow, it wakes you up. It's so aromatic, but you have to peel it. And the fastest way to peel it is literally taking the back of your spoon and just shaving off, and you're getting a little bit of a shower, as I'm getting a little bit of a shower. Maybe I should put my goggles on. But I left those when I moved to Israel 5 years ago. I don't have any goggles. So very grateful that I don't have to see any snow. Here we go. So there is my ginger. I'm going to chop that off, and I'm just going to chop that as well. And again, if this is something that you don't think you're going to be using all this ginger, or you're going to be going away one day soon when we're all going to be flying again, you can throw this into your freezer and you can have it for further use at another time. Again, it doesn't lose its strength either. So we're chopping our garlic. So we're all ready. So chopped garlic and chopped garlic. So you can see what kind of direction we're going in. And I think what's great about living in Israel is that you have so many different kinds of Jewish foods out there. There's no one Jewish food. We are a mixture of many different people that came from all over the place at different periods of time and brought our amazing recipes here. So I'm grateful for all those moms and all the moms out there who are watching, who continue the traditions, the family recipes, and the flavors, because that's what's keeping all this culture and the food scene so deeply alive here in Israel. Israel ranks #1 on all the food charts, all the cookbooks. It's really, it's hard to imagine, but it really is probably the most dynamic place to be food-wise today. So, you know, it's all because of the moms out there and the dads who do cook, but really remembering those recipes and raising them up and the importance of it, and sharing all those family stories about how they're made. And now that we have all this time, this is a great opportunity to dig through your family drawers of family recipes that you want to pass on, because, you know, this is the time. This is where, you know, our kids, I think, are hungry for stories and hungry for connection. Okay, on we go. We're going to heat up my pots, and my pot is here, and this happens to be one of my favorite pots. It's my favorite color. As you can see, it's a burnt orange color, which is really my favorite. And it's, you don't need to have this pot. You can do it in any pot, but hey, while you're cooking, enjoy the stuff you have. Go through your stuff. This is the time. Pull out all the stuff that makes you sad and drecky and makes you feel like a blech. Because when you're cooking, you should feel alive, you should feel appreciative, and you should enjoy the process. Because I don't know about you, I'm cooking 3 times a day here, cleaning, washing. My hands have never been so clean or so dry. So you really want to try to surround yourself with tools that help you, not that you curse and not that you hate. So think about it, because it's not just, oh, I just need a peeler. No, it's, oh, I love my peeler. Who's out there? Who has a question? No. Adding. I just want to go through the other ingredients that we have here in my beautiful tagine dish from Zachary. Thank you, Zachary, for schlepping this. I have some, what they have here, it's called pumpkin, or dalat is the Hebrew word for it. You can also replace with butternut squash. You can replace it with sweet potatoes. Or you can, if you don't like it, don't even use it, okay? We also have some zucchini right over here, chopped up zucchini. I have carrots as well. But really, if, you know, use what you have. If you have a stalk of celery, throw a stalk of celery in. If you don't have all the ingredients, it will still all taste great. If you have parsnips out there, all those Canadians out there, use your delicious parsnips. They are so frugal here. You can't find them anywhere. So use those parsnips because they're full of yummy, sweet flavor. So I'm going to just put my onions in, and you're going to hear a sizzle. I hope you heard that sizzle from all the way over there. And I'm going to put some of my onion and garlic into there, but I'm not going to put it in quite yet because I don't want it to burn, okay? So it's very important that our onions first sweat, because onions are full of water. So the first stages of cooking onions is that you sweat the onions on a medium heat for about 4 minutes until they come translucent, and that's often what you read a recipe here. You're like, what are they talking about? All right, okay? All right. The other ingredients that we're going to be doing is that tagine is all about, is full of delicious spices. I'm muted. Can everybody hear? We're good? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. So the recipe calls for unbelievable spices. Remember, we have the ginger and the garlic. Wow, it's going right in my hair. Cardamom, turmeric, and cumin. Okay, remember the turmeric was the spice that makes everything yellow and happy. So think about that. So we're putting some turmeric into it. We're going to be putting some cumin in as well. Cumin is the strong smell that you often smell in falafel, okay? Some people love it, some people don't like it so much. I happen to love it. It's very hard to avoid here, that's for sure. And then I also have cardamom. And cardamom here in Hebrew is called hell, funny name, right? But wow, it comes in a pot and looks like this. And often people say this is very good for digestion. It doesn't have it has a smell like this, wow, in the pod, but wow, when you grind this, toast it and grind it, it is like powerful. And this is also when you have the chai tea, you'll often have a lot of cardamom into it. It's a nice warming spice. And another very important one, oh, Steffi, you gotta come see. This is what I did this morning when I needed to have a project. This is my spice area. Can you just zoom in on what I did today? I wiped them all down and I put their names on it. I think the next stage is I'm going to write them in Hebrew because then I'll have a way to remember them when I'm at the spice store, what I'm asking for. So I'm very proud of that. Here we're going to be adding a cinnamon stick. And a cinnamon stick, just like a cardamom pod, only works when it's immersed in liquid. So we're not at the liquid stage yet. What I'm going to do is add my zucchini, my carrots. So it's nice and soft in here. Wow. How does it smell, Steffi?
Oniony.
Oniony?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're putting our vegetables in. And then we are going to add our liquid to it as well. So some liquid. Again, you only need to use water. You don't need to use, if you have chicken stock, yalla, you can put the chicken stock in. And if you wanted to put chicken in, you can saute the chicken in at this point. You could do it in cubes, or you can do it legs and wings and stuff like that. You can put that in the dry saute with the onions and then load the vegetables. And remember, it all cooks together. It's a one-pot wonder. That's why it's such an easy one bowl dinner, which is what we're always trying to look at. The least amount of mess to clean up. So remember, I'm going to put my cinnamon stick into the pot, and I'm also going to put a couple of cardamom pods. And remember how many I'm putting in. I'm putting in 3, and I think I have to also put in a bay leaf. So I'm happy to open my drawer again because I'm so proud of myself. I actually did something today. And I think that's kind of one of the things I need to keep reminding myself, to have little daily wow victories, little victories of stuff that I say, what did I do today? And I'm grateful that I start my day, thanks to Jordan and this amazing platform called Thrive, with yoga or Pilates, stuff that I don't necessarily think I would have done as religiously, but it's really getting me going and getting me motivated and keeping me in my jeans, thank God. Okay, so we have all these, all of everything is just gonna cook. We're gonna leave this for now, and we're gonna, the other ingredients that we're gonna be dealing with, we're going to be adding chickpeas, which came from a can. This is the can right over here. Remember, you always want to drain the chickpeas from the can, but today I did something very interesting. I said to Steffi, hey, do you want to make something interesting with the chickpea water? I've read about it, but I've never really done anything with it. And she said, sure. Steffi, you have to understand, is a vegan and a vegetarian and gluten-free, so there's a lot of restrictions there. So what Steffi did, and I'm going to bring her right here, and she's going to show you. Tell them what you made, Steffi.
So we made coconut chickpea cookies. They came out a little brown, but they're actually really gooey and yummy.
And what she did was she secret ingredient was the chickpea water. What's it called?
Aquafaba.
Aquafaba. And what the trick is, first she tried doing it with the hand whisk. It didn't froth. It's all about aeration. You know, you sing the song, beans, beans, good for your heart, the more you eat, you know. Anyhow, this juice is what aerates. And so that's what she did. She aerated it all and then mixed it into the cookies with almond flour. They happen to be outrageously delicious. I never would have believed it if we hadn't made it here today. But again, that's another idea. It's to another degree of waste of using
Shawna,
yeah.
could you give us the recipe for that as
well?
well?
Thank you for asking that. Jordan has the recipe and he's ready to post it.
I'm about to post it.
And they're really, really delicious. And you can call them in your recipe Steffi's cookies because this is what they are. They're really delicious.
They're kosher for Pesach if you eat kippiyot, so.
Perfect. Thank you.
They're really, really delicious, and they're made with almond flour. So almond flour is just basically ground up almonds. So they're really, and they make the house smell outrageously great. Okay, but again, if you don't have the chickpea in a can, you can use them dry like this. But remember, you can't put them directly in. You have to soak these, bring them up to a boil. Once they come to a boil, soak them for an hour, rinse, and then cook them for 45 minutes, and then you add them in, okay? Again, if you've made too many dried beans, you could always freeze them. Create your own freezer pantry, okay? There's no waste. There's no need to eat chickpeas every single day once you've made too many of them. Don't punish yourself that way because you'll never look at a chickpea again. So we're going to move on to recipe number 2 because that's what we do. We become very resourceful, and I tried to make it look like as much as a TV show as possible. But again, this whole Zoom thing is so new for me, but wow, it's so much fun. What I'm going to be doing first is the recipe is so brain dead easy. You can do this all with a fork, okay? I'm just showing you some different tools for all those out there. This is a whisk, and this is a spatula. And what we're going to be doing, I clearly have a yellow theme going on today, maybe because the sun is shining today and it's been such a beautiful, beautiful day. We're using eggs, and whenever a recipe calls for eggs, they're always calling for large eggs, okay? Keep that in mind. So when you're at the store and you bought extra large eggs and you wonder why your baking recipe didn't come out quite like the picture, that's usually because of the size. It doesn't necessarily have to be the size of the egg, but baking is a lot less forgiving than cooking. And believe me, I am not this exact at all, but when a recipe, I'm trying to teach you that when a recipe does call for an egg, it's always calling for a large egg. And notice how fast it just whisked up. It whisked up because my eggs are at room temperature. And that is a must. When you are baking and you want to make sure all your ingredients come together, and imagine going to a party and you start warming up to the party when you take off your jacket. You're nice and warm, and then you're going to start to mix with everybody else, and you're going to be in a happy mood. Same as eggs. If you're cold and shriveled like this, no one's going to want to talk to you, and no one's going to want to play with you. So think about it the same way. So we have our eggs. We're putting in our sugar. We have 1 cup, less than that, 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. If you want to use coconut sugar, yalla, you can do that as well. Stephanie, where'd you put the vanilla? And then we also have canola oil, which is a Canadian oil, but a flavorless vegetable oil. I've done this with olive oil as well, but they are too heavy. And then we have my contraband, my Trader Joe's vanilla that if anybody comes over brings us. So we're going to put some vanilla into it as well because vanilla makes everything taste delicioso. Maxime, amazing. So we're mixing this all together. Really, anybody can do this. This doesn't require any fancy baking degrees. Just make sure that you whisk it all together. Doesn't have to really aerate as much as you would, as Steffi did to make her fava concoction. What we have here is flour. I'm using white flour because, again, I'm trying to dig out of my pantry what's in there. I also always refrigerate all my whole grain flour. So if you have a little bit of spelt flour, a little bit of camlet flour, you have a little bit of whole wheat flour, you have a little bit of white flour, bring it all together. Bring it to the party. Use it up. We need 2 cups of flour, and included I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, which is what's going to give it some height and some spread, which I'm hoping that we're not going to spread too much during these 9 weeks. Then we're going to also add some coconut, and if you don't like coconut, omit the coconut, but it does give it a really nice flavor to it, but not a must. And I'm using a cup of grape nut cereal, which is also brought in someone's suitcase. Because again, cereal is difficult, but you can find it here in Renana at Meatland. But you don't need to use grape nuts. Grape nuts I love because they're super, super crunchy. But you can substitute Rice Krispies or Corn Flakes or not Honey Nut Cheerios, Honey Bunches of Oats. A cereal that has got great, great crunch to it. But remember, there's sugar added to a lot of those, so you want to make sure then you cut some of the sugar. And then the other ingredients is that I have almonds. So I want to show you that there's sliced almonds. We have all different kinds of almonds. We have almonds. Again, I'm using what I have in my pantry, so you're seeing reality TV. I have basically whole almonds that always, when I buy these natural almonds, I come home and I spread them out on a baking sheet and I put my oven to 350 or 180 for those in Israel. And I toast them for about 7 to 10 minutes until I go, wow, this house smells so good. And then I pull them out and I let them cool. You always only want to chop nuts when they're cool. But you can use these nuts and you can bang them away if you want. Or we have some sliced almonds. These are sliced almonds, which are basically much, much finer. These, if you look how much better they look with the suntan. If you do them all at once and then stick them in your freezer, you can build beautiful pilafs and salads, and everything looks golden and yummy and fresh. You don't have to keep toasting things in 2 tablespoons at a time. You don't have the patience for that. And then I also have some slivered almonds, which look like fangs. So you can do a mixture of them all, whatever, which was sort of my intention to do, but I'm sort of like a little bit all over the place. So here, why not? Let's just go crazy and stick them in here. And then there's the option of adding chocolate. And so here in Israel, we have these bars of chocolate, these semi-sweet bars, which I find are incredibly versatile. What I do is I take my mallet and I just bang away. Or you can always use chocolate chips, but I find chocolate chips look too easy. They look too commercial. I love chocolate chips in the Toll House cookie. Wow, that looks great. But in this, I want it to kind of look a little bit more organic looking. So I'm just chop them up, open sesame, and 1 bar is definitely enough. And then I'm just gonna stir it away. I'm gonna put a pinch of salt in it. This is one of my favorite things in my kitchen. If anybody wants to ever buy somebody a gift, this is one of my best things ever. I love it. And there we go. So I'm just gonna mix this away. And Steffi's gonna look at what are we making again? The tagine. Take a good look at the tagine. I'm gonna add the tomatoes in at this point. Okay, and we're going to be adding, I have my dates to add in as well. Beautiful dates, Najul dates, which Israel's got such fantastic dates, which I know you can all buy in the grocery store. And again, these dates are so beautifully fresh, but if you don't have fresh ones and they're dry, don't worry, put them in. They're going to get plumped up in this soup. So don't worry. And same with all dried fruit. Notice that your dried fruit is all hard. All it needs is a little bit of some leaven. You just need some juice or some hot water on it, and it will come back to life and give you all those yummy flavors. So the dates are going to disintegrate in here, and I'm going to give a beautiful color. And here's the chickpeas. Thank you, Steffi, for doing that. There we go. And we're going to continue the cooking, going back to the biscotti. I'm going to just cover this a tiny bit, add a little bit more water. There we go. Notice I haven't added any salt yet, and I haven't added any pepper to it yet. So here is our biscotti recipe. And I'm just mixing up away. Does anybody have any questions out there? What's going on out there? How's Montreal for all those Montrealers waking up? Hello? Anybody
Great, Shawna.
Who's there?
Selena. Good morning.
Hi, Selena.
How are you? This is great. Love to see you. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. Selena was on our Chef trip number 1. My roomie. Yes. Okay.
Best trip ever.
Can't wait for everybody to be on planes again, right? Visiting each other in real time.
Right.
Okay, so got a big block. Okay, so I'm going to grab the cookie sheet. Steffi has a cookie sheet that we lined with parchment paper. And the parchment paper is beautiful because you can reuse it over and over again. You just wipe it down until, of course, it gets like disgusting, of course. You know that.
Shawna, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
It's Joanna.
Hi, Joanna.
You just threw in all those nuts. Are you measuring them or?
I make this cookie recipe, Joanna, 2 times a week for Todd. So you can eyeball it. It's
Okay, thanks.
And if you don't like nuts, you just want to do the cereal, you could do that as well. also you don't like almonds, and say you only have pecans or you only have pistachios or whatever, you have a half a cup of pecans, half a cup of walnuts, you can mix them all. It just gets better and better. Another thing you can do is you can also put some lemon zest in it as well. If you want to add, in our theme of everything yellow, I happen to love anything with lemon, and the lemon balances. Anytime you have a recipe, you go, oh, it's a little too sweet, just put a little bit of lemon zest into it and it will balance the flavor. Okay, so this is really a great recipe to do with kids because it's not exact at all. You just ask them to make 2 long logs and then it goes into the oven. You see, you just want to make sure that both logs are around the same size because you want them to bake at the same time. But other than that, this isn't, there's no rulers, okay? I'm not a ruler girl. I set it off I trained as a pastry chef, and then after graduation, I went right on to cooking, and I had to throw away my measuring cups. So a very different discipline. But this is very home style, country, and really, really indestructible. Okay, so this is going into the oven. Everybody's for all those out there. And what we're going to do is we're going to bake them for 20 minutes, about 20 to 25 minutes, and then we're going to slice them and then put them back in the oven. And the whole idea of putting them back into the oven is that you want to dry them out. These cookies, as much as they do have fat in them, they thrive on neglect. So once you make them, they're in your house. I mean, if you can actually keep them in your house long enough, but they can stay for like 3 weeks because the drier, the better. You never ever want to put these cookies or any cookies, you never want to put them in the same container as a muffin, for instance, because the muffin wants the humidity and it wants all the moisture, and a cookie is going to suck all that moisture, and then you're going to have soggy cookies. So God knows we have enough Tupperware in our drawers. Just keep a machitza between your cookies and your muffins and your breads, because they all will grab each other's stuff, and you're never going to have a very good product at the end of it. So, you spend so much time preparing and thinking and gathering, and like when I see how people store things, it like makes me nuts because it's not really understanding. And also another thing that's very important is that when the cookies do come out of the oven, I don't put them straight on my counter. Why? Because it's going to steam and it needs air underneath to cool it down. If I just put it here, my whole bottom of my cookies are going to be so dry. So if you don't have a cookie grate, like something that looks like, if I could find it, blah, 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 like a cookie grate, like this one, you can just stick it on top of your stovetop that has air above it, or you can put your pan right on top of here because there's air underneath it. So you just want to always be aware of that. Like I often see people's cakes are wet and they don't understand why they're wet. I'm like, you didn't cool it properly. And also when you're cooling it, it really means cooling it. I mean, I know I'm the first to grab the cookie before like it's even out of the oven, and I scorch the top of my mouth and like I cursed myself. But also with cakes, you just want to make sure you go around them, let it sit, because it really has to come away from the pan and to release itself, so you're not going to get those gouges and holes. And believe me, I love, what to do making out of disasters, but sometimes like I hate myself for rushing so much. So I think now this is a real practice, this whole lockdown, slow it down, pay attention to what's
Question!
What's that?
I have a question.
I can't hear what you said.
Question.
What's your question?
Question. Are you going to be throwing tasters over your fence when the biscotti comes out of the oven?
Absolutely. Listen, I just want to show you what I got as a drive-by. I just got, where are those? God bless. I just got these as a drive-by. I just got a WhatsApp text from Hilly going, please rescue me, take some of these profiteroles.
Nice.
So anybody who wants to drive by, you have Moroccan Tagine and Biscotti, fresh out of the oven.
All right.
Yes.
Wash them with gel? Did you
Yeah.
wash them with gel before you eat them?
Do I wash? I can't say it again. She's from
Wash them
Australia.
with gel before you eat them.
Will she wash them with gel before you
No,
eat
I don't even own any gel. I am not a hoarder. I don't even have any Purell in this whole house. All I have is,
Lemon.
this is not an infomercial, palm olive. That's all I have.
Maybe I won't take the biscotti.
And I don't have, you can count my amounts of toilet paper I have. I think I only have 6 rolls. So I am not a hoarder. You know, we thank God there's a McCullough, which is our little convenience store, our dépanneur for all the Canadians there. Where's my flag? So I feel like, you know, I kind of sneak out, put my gloves on and, you know, sneak in when no one's in the store, like at 11 o'clock at night. That's when you'll find me lurking through the hallways of the McCullough store. Anyhow, I wanted to show you the, ta-da, did you remember what's even in here? In my nice, beautiful tea towel that I'm like fresh. It's such a pleasure after I don't know about you, but my dish towels look like that. They look like they've gone through the ringer here. So that's another thing that's going to be purged during this Corona, and we're going to get a whole new batch of clean dish towels. So this, look how beautiful. It's nice and sunshiny yellow. And I take my fork and I fluff up my couscous. Most people go, why is my couscous so lumpy? Usually because sometimes you add too much water. Sometimes, what's that? But all you want to do is fluff it up with a fork, and you have a beautiful start to anything. You can turn this salad, you can turn it into, you can make like, ooh, this is really fun. I forgot about this. Here we go. Can you just get me a plate, Steffi? Yeah. What you do is if you ever want to serve, because you know when you have fancy guests like Shuli coming over, you have to be really ready. And what you do is you just turn it and you can ta-da like a fancy restaurant. Or what you can do when you're serving couscous with this whole tagine, you can put it all, it's very 50s. You can pat it into like a bundt pan and then flip it over and put the tagine down the center. That's another idea. Maybe I'll do that for you right now. Let's see. So that was that. Let me grab my little pan and show it to you what I was actually talking about. You know, everybody has one of these babies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack it in. We're going to get a big plate. 1 second. Steffi, you grab me a big plate, a flat plate. Go. Let's see. There we go. Everybody see this beautiful yellow? Here we go. And again, if you don't have the turmeric in your house, then it just would be looking like pasta color. That's the only difference. But it would all be the same. It would taste pretty much the same because I didn't really season it. Okay. Perfect. No, I don't think it's better. Okay. Let's see how well I did. Guys, this is live, okay? And you're all my friends, so you're going to forgive me if this doesn't work. But I really think it will. Okay? Yay. There you go. And now what we're going to do, we have our beautiful tagine that's ready here. You can see the beautiful color of it. Anything that I forgot. So also I want you to see what we have here. We talked about it yesterday. We have our parsley that has a little bit of water. It is not kuzbara, right, Todd? Todd hates kuzbara, and he's just my police over here, making sure that I stay in the house and I don't leave. So here is my parsley, and I'm keeping it preserved with my handy dandy. Thank you to Kramin, or thanks to the Dan Panorama Hotel, which is now the Corona Hotel. But no, I'm not putting this on me, okay? It's a fresh one. But what I'm gonna do is put it right on my herbs, okay? And this is how I preserve my herbs in my fridge. And then if I see it, I'm gonna use it. See, it's almost like what the bubbies used to wear when they used to go outside, you know, and used to like put a thing, a babushka on their face, on their head. Anyway, I love this idea. And you know what? I think Glad copied my idea because now they sell these shower caps as herb holders. So I think I was on to something a long time ago. Okay, so we're gonna take our wonderful, beautiful tagine mixture here, and I'm gonna taste a little bit of it first. With my spoon. And okay, it tastes fantastic and sweet. And I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of some salt, because salt pops out the flavor. It's certainly not the main flavor. And some delicious, freshly ground pepper. And always, always, you can sign of a good cook is having a pepper grinder in your house. You don't need to have anything fancy, just something that grinds pepper, no flat pepper. Those days are over. And if you want, you can even, Dead Sea products, you can grind your own salt too. That's an option too. So remember, always count your bay leaves. We put in 2 bay leaves. I'm taking out my 2 bay leaves. And I have some cardamom pods in here as well, which is not nearly as much of a worry. And of course, my cinnamon stick, which is nice and swelled. I'm just gonna wash my spoon. Wow, that tastes so delish. Again, if you want to make it spicy, you can always add like jalapeno into it, or a little bit of some. Let's open my beautiful spice drawer. What else can we offer? We can put some chili, and not so much, I wouldn't go there. I would put a little bit of some red pepper flakes into it. Of course, I'm not wearing my glasses right now, so maybe next time I make my stickers even bigger. But yes, you can add, here's my a little bit of chili powder, red pepper flakes. You can always add that. And now what I'm going to do is you can beautifully set it up comme ça. There's my little French that I remember. And, ooh la la, here we go. I'm going to put it here. And I put a little bit too much. Some, because you eat with your eyes, everybody, right? And our gorgeous almonds. And there you go. You have a beautiful buffet that you can serve to all your friends. Again, you can make the tagine beforehand. It gets better over time. And then if you can't stand looking at it anymore as a tagine, just take my favorite tool, this side, my blender, and zhuzh it, and then turn it into a soup. And you can use couscous on top of it as a garnish, or just some chopped herbs to it. And then you have a whole other meal that no one knows that 2 days ago it was tagine. So that's also another idea. Okay, so let's go take a peek into what's going on into the oven, because I want to show you that the biscotti is baking. And make sure you have a long oven, especially when you're wearing shorts, short sleeves. So, because your hand is going in. Here we go. And this is our they're not ready yet, because you can see that my finger's still going in, and they're way too white for me, right, Steffi? Aren't they a little too white?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to have more of a golden color. So what we're going to do is continue baking them for a few more minutes. And do we have any more questions, anybody out there? Andrew, do you want to come taste the tagine?
No.
Okay. I have Andrew right over here, my son, who's in grade 11 studying. And so I'm going to taste the tagine that's right over here. Here we go.
Shawna, I have a question.
Okay. Oh, hot. Oh. Very good.
Smells good.
Well, yummy, yummy. Delish. Any questions out there?
Yeah, I have one. I yell up, I like if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi. So I have a tagine at home as well. I've never used it. But from what I've heard, you're supposed to cook it in the oven with the couscous together.
With the tagine, yes, you cook it all together.
No, in the oven.
In the oven.
But,
You can cook it all together in the oven, absolutely.
but what's the cooking process if you're doing it in the oven, the couscous, and then you have all the liquid from the stove?
I wouldn't put the couscous in the oven with it. I would cook the stew and the stew with the chicken. If you're adding chicken in that, you cook it all together in the tagine, and just cook it like you would like it's a slow cooker. Like it really is a slow cooker. That's the whole idea of it.
Okay, and then you do the whole process as one in the in the oven, like the rice,
Yes.
the onion, the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yes, Shawna, yesterday I took your spice advice and I bought I got a big batch of basil that came with the roots.
Okay,
And
like a flowering plant.
it wasn't a flowering plant, but it was more like a massive bunch that you could see the roots. I put it in a big thing of water, which maybe was my mistake. And I kept it in the bag, like the little grocery store. It sort of felt to me like a shower cap.
Okay.
But the next day, everything turned black.
Ooh, don't know. That's interesting. Maybe, maybe you needed to cut the roots and then, put it in the water like that. I don't know. I am no gardener, that's for sure. So I don't know, but that's really bizarro.
It's a sign of Corona.
It's a sign of Corona. Jordan, there's no Corona on this hour show. Yes. Anybody else? Okay, guys, I'm going to take out the biscotti and I want to slice them for you. And then we're going to turn them over. And then they're going to continue baking. But you're going to continue on your way and get ready to bake them yourself because I want to see those photos. I want to see the remarks. I want you enjoying these. They're really, really great. So come, let's take them out of the oven and let me make a little bit of space. Remember, I have to practice what I preach. You have to take them out and put them somewhere where they're aerated. Here we go. And what I'm going to do, a nice clean cutting board. And I'm going to take, whoopsies, too many things. Here we go. I'm going to cut them. This is a good size spatula. There we go. What you do is you just want to slice them. You need to have a big knife, okay? You can't do this with the little flimsy knife. And make sure it's not a knife that smells like garlic. Let me take off my glasses. Here we go. And again, you can decide whichever way you want it. If you want big, big blocks, you want thinner blocks, you can slice them the way you want. Again, I don't really care. You just want to make sure that they're consistent, okay? Because you want them to toast up the exact same time. So then what you do is this is when you're gonna be slow and steady. We got lots of time. And we're gonna lie them down. We're gonna sunbathe and this is also a lot easier to do when you can cool them down for 20 minutes and then slice them. You don't have to be doing what I'm doing because we're on fancy TV here. So this is why I'm rushing. So here we go. And I just want to promote, again, what Jordan has been doing is that if anybody, don't feel guilty about all this eating because you just have to keep moving. And we have this website that Jordan started, Thrive. We have these amazing instructors who are giving up their time and their expertise. And I think we can be busy on the hour. Maybe we'll come out like Beachbody ready. Who knows? After all this, we can stay very, very busy. Here we go. This is my second bar. You see how professional I get, right? As we go along. And you slice and go. It makes about 40 cookies. And if you want to, next week, I'm going to be doing a Passover class. It's maybe even sometime this week. Who knows? I don't even know what day it is. But I'll be doing a Passover class. It's too early to start talking about Passover. We're still trying to get rid of what we're still eating and getting through every single meal three times a day. So, but I'll be showing you all different Passover ideas. and take any recommendations. So if anybody has something in mind that you want to learn, email me, WhatsApp me, send me some funny jokes. I love it. And just want to show you the cookies. You can see I'm going to continue slicing them, and I'm going to put them back into the oven when I'm done using my mitts. And I'll send you pictures of what they look like afterwards. They're going to go back into the oven for about 20 minutes. And if you happen to have done this at 11 o'clock at night because you had so much energy and you didn't know what else to do, but you don't feel like waiting while you do the double bake, literally put them in the oven and turn off the oven and let them sit in there overnight. Again, they thrive on neglect. They love being ignored. So it's fantastic. So just do that. In the morning, you're going to wake up. Just remember that they're in your oven and not to preheat your oven for something else. That's always the rule. So maybe you need to put a stick-it on the oven, on the knob, because I've done that going, wow, I'm preheating my oven. My oven smells fabulous. And then I'm like, oh my God, and I run like a lunatic. So just, you know, be good to yourself. And I thank you guys for coming. I thank you guys for interacting. And it's so good to see all the faces lit up. And I wish you guys well. Stay home, and just keep cooking. It's fun. And share your recipes, because you're inspiring everybody else around you. So bye, everybody.